I'm understanding right, and correct me if I'm misinterpreting, but I think what I'm hearing you say is, I have a longing to love this man up enough that he finally does his work and heals his wounds so that we can live together in peace. And I
Yeah.
have a theory that if I can love him enough and I can empathize with him enough and I can create safe enough conditions for him, that he will feel motivated to look at his pain and do his healing work so that he isn't exploding and doing the things that he's doing. So, first of all, that's a really beautiful intention coming from a very loving heart in you. And it gives you some hope. And it potentially, what I'd ask you to do is track that very closely, because it can keep you in a toxic situation for longer than is good for you. And here's some of the things that you want to be watching for. Be really aware. My theory right now is that I want to love you up enough and create it safe enough for you. And like, I'm trying to jumpstart you into your own healing process. That's what I'm trying to do. Fine. Fine. Just know that you're doing that. And then ask yourself, what will I need to see from him to know if it's working or not? And if he doesn't pick those things up and he isn't doing them, you could waste many, many, many years of your life waiting for something that isn't likely to happen. Just look at him as he is, and you tell yourself, this is never going to change. And I don't need it to change. He gets to be how he is. And if I don't need him to be any different, that's when you can actually begin loving him unconditionally. And if we're going to think about just nonviolence as more of an existential practice, of course, we want to love somebody like this unconditionally. There's a different question then. What is it like for me to choose to partner with them and live with them in a permanent way? That's a different question. And if you were to say that to him, if you were to say, listen, I sometimes have these moments of hope, and I hear you saying that you're interested in growing and learning, and then we get stuck back in this cycle, and then you end with a question, honey, what is your theory of why we keep doing that? What do you think is getting in the way of deeper, more long-standing change? What are the barriers in your mind to this thing shifting? When he says the reason why is you, it, they, the world, the money, the job, your tone of voice, I'm tired, I can't. If you get that answer over and over again, get out. For him to actually be on a journey with you, he would say, that is a really good question. I think what happens for me is I get afraid and defensive. And I should probably start talking to somebody to help me see some options that I'm having a hard time coming up with on my own.